Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. As we've got quite a few things to break down for this weekend, we are talking again about another red card issued to the Springboks, talking about controversial calls, and I'm going to start breaking down exactly where the refs got it wrong. Yet again, we're talking about the All Blacks' performance against England and Twickenham, and why they left us more questions than tries. And then, of course, not to forget about the Argentinian absolute upset win against Scotland this weekend as well. So keep watching. There's quite a lot to break down. So without any further ado, let's just completely jump into it. Okay, so coming down now to the Springboks versus Italy's red card breakdown. The ref. Let me just set the scene here for you. We do have another attack movement by the Italians, and as with the exact same scenario that we had in the game against France, where Ramos was already being tackled by Kobus Reinach on his way down, Ludiaga coming in from the front. Committing into a tackle, again, also going as low as he possibly can. Unfortunately, there was a bit of head contact on that side, but, in my opinion, Lua did everything he could, and he did it right. So, once again, I'm going to say that I just feel that World Rugby, and especially the referees and, officials, match officials, didn't get it right this time around again. And I'll tell you now, I'll tell you exactly what I mean as I'm breaking down this analysis of the erroneous calls, especially in deliberation between the referee and the TMO, especially when they started looking at impact, the dangers of the impact, and the interpretation of the impact as well, what the ref saw, what he thought he saw, and how he interpreted it. But I'll break it down for you all as well. The TMO protocols, talking about mitigation and danger levels, danger level checks as well. It's a mess, and I think really World Rugby needs to look at this, because a lot of people are now talking more about controversial red card calls than they are actually talking about rugby. And it's sad, because what we really want to do is just talking about the absolutely amazing performances that we see every weekend in these kind of matches. And we just end up talking about these really controversial and really bad calls by the referee, especially on this level of rugby. One would think, and I think it was Nick Mallet that commented on it quite a while back, that we need to see more professional performances by the referee at this level of rugby. I think it was again, in the match between All Blacks and the Springboks in Auckland some time ago this year, and because we're getting constant bad calls by the referee, and it really is not fair towards the teams, towards the players, and towards fans, I feel. So I don't know whether this is incompetence by the referee in the breakdown analysis of the incidents, and if this is just not really seeing things as they are, or the fact that they are not interpreting the rules as well as they should, because they are. Think about two other really controversial calls in one match that's been made, that just basically screams referee inconsistency in their calls. As you will also see, there's I think two more head contacts that was really badly called by the referee, which is basically breaks down to this exact similar scenario, and you get 3 different verdicts from the referee on essentially the exact same scenario, which really doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, talking about coming now to the Franco Mostert red card. Again, like I said, this is an attack scenario. Italy is in attacking position. Like the Ramos, Kuben Reinoch and Louis de Jager incident, Morne van den Berg basically tackles the attacking player. He goes down. Franco Mostert comes from the front. He goes into a tackle, dips as low as he possibly can. Now remember that both Louis de Jager and Franco Mostert are within 6 foot in height. There's only so much they can do when dipping into a tackle or when going as low as they possibly can. Both Louis and Franco Mostert basically dips as low as they can. Now the referee basically declares this as always wrong. Always in the wrong because they lead with the shoulder. Now anybody, and I think this was Tim from Egg Chasers that also points this out, and you can go and watch his analysis, and in fact I would recommend anybody to go and watch his analysis of that incident, because he gives some really great insights there. If you make a claim that that a player is always in the wrong because he's leading with the shoulder, how the fuck else are you supposed to lead in a tackle? We are being coached by any coach worth of their salt. They would coach players to go in low. You lead with the shoulder because what else are you supposed to lead with? Your head? If that happens, you're going to see more concussions on a rugby field than you would get in a boxing or MMA fight. Okay? This will probably become the most dangerous game, scientifically speaking, in the world, because you'd have more players being booked off with head injuries than in any other sport in this world, honestly. So this is how you're being coached to actually go into a tackle. You dip down as low as possible, you go in with the shoulder, you wrap with the arms, and you turn your head away from the player you are about to tackle when you commit actually into the tackle. So you can assess the situation before you go into the tackle. But as soon as you commit, you are really not within a lot of control. You obviously assess the situation, you dip down, you turn your head, you basically go in with the shoulder, and you obviously wrap the arms. Now, sure, there was no wrapping of the arms within this incident, and that is the only point I would agree where a player could be cited. And I would argue at maximum a yellow card in this incident, because the player changes height from the Morne van den Berg tackle. That is mitigation in itself. So red card, definitely the wrong call. And the deliberation between the referee and the TMO going into this or looking of Mostert committing into the tackle. Number one, there's no direct head contact. You cannot tell me, and I'll put the footage up on the screen now, you cannot tell me that is direct contact to the head. The initial impact is always on the chest. The player's head whips forward in a kind of whiplash motion, and I would say that would be the only head contact there. It's a secondary head contact to possibly the shoulder blade of Franco Mostert. So there's no direct head contact. That in itself is also mitigation. So I would not agree with the red card. Yellow card maybe for the inability to wrap the arm, but Morne van den Berg is right there, which is possibly why Franco Mostert couldn't wrap the arm. He obviously is aware of this, so he doesn't wrap the arm. But still, there should always be an attempt to wrap the arm. Doesn't happen, so I would concede there. At most, yellow card sighting. Send him off for 10 minutes into the sin bin and let him come back, continue the play. But now, in the early couple of minutes of the game, there's a citation for a red card. South Africa plays against Italy for nearly 18 minutes with only 14 men, which sees us doing a massive dance of player substitution right in the beginning of the game. Grobelaar, not Grobelaar, but Boan Venter is basically being swapped out for Gerard Steenekamp. We yet again have to sacrifice another backline player for a forward, so we can match the Italians within the scrums and keep our set plays up to standard. And Siya Kolisi is yet again sacrificed for Ruan Nortje. It's just absolutely, it blows my mind and just throws the game completely into such disarray that you like, it really leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And we are now more talking about these controversial card moments excuse me, by referees, that we no longer focusing on the game itself. I mean, I would love to have just one, session again where I can just talk about player breakdowns, team breakdowns, team performances, and just praise the players for their absolute brilliant plays. But, now I've spent about 10 minutes just going on about another controversial call by a referee, and that's not just the only one, so stay tuned. I mean, there's two more controversial calls that's coming. We're looking at two other more instances of head contact. The one instance of the head contact on Grobbelaar, within a ruck. Grobbelaar goes in, a clearance come from Italy. He comes in from the side, number one. He gets cited for that, and basically gets, cited a yellow card. Goes to the sin bin for a side entry on the ruck. There's head contact with Grobbelaar, and there's some more controversy coming into that because a huge argument ensues between South Africa's doctor and the match day doctor, the Italian match day doctor, on the sideline, because the match day doctor gets a ping on his device from Grobbelaar's mouth guard that there's a possibility of head injury. He's got to go for an HIA, and this is probably the only instance where I would praise the referee's call, because in instances like that, I think he handled it in the correct fashion. Now, just to break that down, the South African doctor basically approaches he gets notification that Grobbelaar is being called off by the ref to go for an HIA as per the match day doctor. So he approaches that doctor and tells him, but hang on, my device is not giving me any readings here. So what's going on? Why is my player being pulled off? So again, they describe, obviously explain to him, okay, our device got a ping. We received data on our device from the mouth guard that there is a possibility of a head injury here. We've got to pull him off for a head injury assessment. So this raises a concern, obviously, how well the mouth guard technology actually works. And, going forward in that match, we saw 3 more high impact instances. Once on, I believe it was Kirtley Orenser. Then once on, and that was the other head contact controversial call on Siya Kolisi, where there was an upright tackle, no mitigation in my opinion. The Italian player was never dipped into the tackle, always upright. There's a shoulder contact directly with Siya Kolisi's head. Ref says plays on. What the fuck? I honestly don't know. I'm honestly, and I'm sorry that I'm swearing so much in this video, because I'm absolutely blown over by what I can only describe as sheer incompetence by the ref. I don't know. Criticize me for that if you want. Give me your opinion in the comments field below. But this is how I see it. I can put the footage up for you. I'll put the footage up for you now. There is direct head contact between the player and the player's shoulder and Siya Kolisi. There's actually 2 players basically going in for the contact on Siya Kolisi. There's no changing of height within that tackle, but the referee says plays on. That's the call happening. So I don't know how he actually, he's not using the TMO as an effective tool in assessing the level of danger or the citations or the correct interpretation of the Rugby Law 9. So it blows my mind. It honestly blows my mind how these referees could get away with these kind of calls, and the inconsistency of it all. Then again, the clear out hit on Grobbelaar. Clear head contact, direct with the player's upper arm in the clearance. He gets cited for the side entry, gets a yellow card for that, for it obviously being a cynical infraction. Goes off for 10 minutes. And there's not even a mention of the head contact, even though he's basically being sent off for an HIA. Now, I would praise the referee in his call in that stage, because as the argument is ensuing between the South African doctor and the matchday doctor, he comes in and says, okay, well, here's how it stands. We're getting two different readings from two different devices. Obviously, there's an error, there's a defect within the device on this day, and let's just take the player off, let him go for an HIA. If he passes, he can come back on. Let's err on the side of caution, put the player's safety first, which I absolutely praise him for that. That is absolutely the right way to actually approach the situation. But now, in so many other different calls, Kurtley Arnsem getting a massive impact in a tackle. I think he makes the tackle, but he goes down low. He gets, direct hit on the head from the player's sort of pelvis area. And if you watch it in real time, the impact is quite massive. There's no signal sent from the mouth guard to any devices in that instance either. So I really, we really need to question and be concerned about the level of technology and the errors that can creep in, because that could be some serious danger to the player's health and safety, but also the game flow impact when, you have these logic contradictions. It just, also doesn't... But stay tuned. I mean, this is, going from really controversial impact plays to some really controversial team performance. I mean, what happened at Twickenham? Oh, wow. All Blacks just not feeling it. The tone, their rhythm was just not the kind of performance that we usually get from the All Blacks, and it really leaves them with more leaves the fans with more question than tries on their side. So yeah, the set pieces, the scrum, and the instability of that. I mean, the All Blacks being dominated in the scrum by the English, it was something that it's just very, it's unheard of almost. I wouldn't, not go as far as to say it's unheard of, but usually the scrums for the Springboks and the All Blacks, that's where it's at. Their scrums, their rolling mauls, and then also having such poor performance within the lineouts, just throwing away ball possession to the Brits. And I have to praise the English for an absolute sterling performance in those areas and in the set plays. Also, the discipline on the All Black side just not going the way of the team. So overall, being marred by defensive structure problems. Their set plays not really what it should be. It wasn't up to standard. I mean, Razor and the All Blacks players cannot argue with the fact that they just didn't give their best performance on the day. Several turnover balls by the English from the scrum set plays, and also from the lineouts. I think it was 2 instances where the All Blacks just threw away ball possession within the lineouts, which just didn't help them at all. And that is literally what keeps the pressure against them. And if you cannot mount any kind of pressure, as we already know, you're not really going to make a lot of impact within the game. And then that psychological factors that comes in, like I think I've spoken about it recently, that you just get to the kind of day performances of your team where you can't do anything right, and you really struggling with your game plan, your strategic performance, and then also in your set plays, that you're just not feeling it. Your rhythm is completely off, and the frustration starts mounting. And then as soon as that happens, there's poor decision making, and you've just lost the game already right here. So the fixes that they can employ, I think the All Blacks need to just take a step back, take a deep breath, and relax, because the more they get frustrated about their own performances or lack thereof, the more they're going to start having poor performance. The performance anxiety is going to start hitting, and then obviously it's not going to come home for them. So definitely they need to relax. They need to revisit their game performance and their game plan, and try and obviously remember the game plan. Because when you start getting frustrated, when you start losing focus, then your strategic play, your strategic decision making within the game, goes completely out the window, and you can't really work with that. But anyway, from really bad performance to really amazing performance, I mean, to probably the biggest upset and comeback performance in rugby history. Of course, I'm talking about Argentina game against Scotland. Wow. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one, because I think I've really spent a lot of time talking about the other performances. And Argentina, I don't know how they did it. They really have stamped down their mark on the world stage, and they've proven themselves as a force to be reckoned with. So I would really recommend, Springboks, All Blacks, Australia, England. Guys, take note, because we've got a new player in the world stage here, or the big stage. Argentina is making massive improvements to their game plan and strategic play. They've really, they knuckled down within the second half, focused and fought back hard. They almost glued their set plays, their strategic game plan into absolute perfection. It's like they just gathered themselves towards themselves, started focusing once again, and just in some miraculous feat just took the pressure straight back to the Scots. Their first half performance obviously being really dismal. The defense wasn't up to standard, I have to admit that, from previous games. If you watch that, the Scots just ran all over them, being having 2 tries by, I think, Ashwin, and 1 by Dempsey right at the beginning of the game. The fact that they suffered a yellow card quite early on in the first half also didn't help. The Scots obviously taking really good advantage of that deficit within the Argentinian ranks, and they took it forward from there, delivering amazing performances within the first half. Ashwin scoring a very powerful try within just the opening moments of the second half as well. And then Argentina just knuckled down. They solidified their defense. They started focusing, did probably what the All Blacks should have done within their game. They gathered themselves toward themselves and just went forward from there, scoring an amazing comeback victory against the Scotland, coming from actually 21 points down in the opening moments of the second half to go forward, scoring 4 tries. It's just absolutely amazing. But not to, put the Scots down too much. I mean, Finn Russell had his boots singing all the way through, slotting every single conversion for the Scottish tries. Ashwin scoring 2 tries within that game, delivering a powerful performance as he just bulldozed his way across the try line. And then Dempsey finding an absolute amazing gap in the Argentinian defensive line early on in the first half to score his try off the hands from Finn Russell as well. Just makes it absolutely just so much more beautiful to watch. And this is the kind of rugby that we really want to talk about. This is the kind of team performances that we really want to talk about when we talk about rugby. We don't want to talk about red card controversials. We don't want to talk about erroneous calls by refs. We don't want to criticize referees, because, I mean, people are going to start complaining again that I'm just another complaining sapper. Come on, guys. It's just, yes, I'm going to criticize refs because when the rule book says we can't. If it's justified, why can't we? So anyway, Argentina just delivering an absolute brilliant comeback game, calling them the comeback kid Argentina. I mean, it's just fucking. Just the performance was amazing. I mean, I would recommend you, if you haven't seen that game, please go and watch it. Even if you just watch the highlights on YouTube or whatever, it's an amazing game to watch. The performance was just absolutely amazing. I can't, narrowing the tier gap between teams like Argentina and Scotland. You would wonder what's going to happen, in the next lineup, because they're going to be facing England in the next match this coming up weekend. So England, take note. If Argentina is going to have a performance the way they performed this weekend, just past, you guys are in for a tough fight. And I'm not saying that lightly. Argentina has, and I've lauded at this multiple times, they've made amazing comebacks and strong plays within the last couple of years to honestly prove themselves on the world stage to be a force to be reckoned with. I recommend all other teams keep a very close eye and focus on them. Obviously, South Africa also facing off against Ireland, and there was a bit of a quirk. I don't know if this was tongue-in-cheek, done sort of tongue-in-cheek from Rassie, where he says we're going to basically be fielding an opening team of 14 men against Ireland, because I don't think that's going to make any kind of difference. We've beaten Italy 14 men. We've beaten France 14 men, and this seems to be the whole kind of play that we're going for now. World Rugby referees seems to be having the want to put South Africa down on the back foot, and then we still go ahead and win the match, even though playing with a one-man deficit. So this seems to be a trend here now. If we could do it against France and Italy, maybe we can do it against Ireland. But possibly just a tongue-in-cheek little quip there from Rassie and a lot of people on social media as well. New Zealand is going to give Wales a run for their money, as Wales coming off a wonderful victory against Japan this last weekend with a 1-point victory. Possibly giving them a much needed confidence boost, because they haven't been doing well in recent years. But now they're facing off against New Zealand, and their confidence is going to crash and burn, I think. New Zealand is probably going to review their performance from last weekend and not going to make the same mistakes again. I'm pretty confident of that. Razor is a really well-established coach. He's probably going to work on their set plays, their team tactics, and of course their defense. Really, trying to gather the All Blacks' focus on this again, and hopefully bring them back into the kind of performance that we are used to them giving us. The takeaway, big picture, ref inconsistencies has always been now a huge talking point in rugby since 2019 World Cups, I believe. Refs, there needs to be clearer guidelines, I believe, within World Rugby on how they can call these matches. And maybe World Rugby need to review their referee training programs, maybe more stringent sort of tasting methods where they test the referee's knowledge of the laws and how they would call a match as well. Maybe draw on real world instances like we've had now with Lewitt, with Franco Mostert, with a young named Vessels, although I seriously still don't understand how that could have slipped through. And remember, that call, that sighting didn't happen in the match. I believe the ref actually made the right call within the match. The sighting happened afterwards from the disciplinary committee. So you have a disciplinary review of that entire incident, and to get it so wrong, 9-week ban on zero evidence. I still can't get over it. But ref inconsistencies really needs to be a focus for World Rugby, I believe. And then of course, teams' performance over this weekend was overall pretty well, and real high praise for the Argentinians to win such a decisive victory over Scotland. as just it was amazing. It was amazing to watch, honestly. And yeah, so please, guys, give me your comments also in the comments field below. Let me know what you think. Do you think the red card on Mostert was justified? After reviewing the footage yourself, what do you think? Do you think the ref made the right call? You know, reviewing the other instances of head contact within that game, do you think I'm right in my analysis? Please give me your comments below. What do you think the All Blacks can still do to improve their match performance now going forward? As I said, they are facing off against Wales this coming weekend. How do you think they can improve that? And also, leave me just, comments in the comments field below, or your thoughts on the Argentinian victory this weekend over Scotland. I think it was just absolutely brilliant. A fantastic match. One yellow card on both sides. And I think the Argentinians also utilized that the deficit on the Scots side within the second half to really, make a powerful comeback for themselves as well. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think in the comments field below. Also, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, because that really helps the channel out. Hit that little notification button as well to get updated on all new videos that drop every week. There's at least one every week that I basically put out. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Join me again next week with obviously where I do analysis of the next weekend's games, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys around there as well. Please, till next time, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. I love you guys. Peace out.
Set! Advantage! Far side, loose head.
Around the corner off the base of the scrum goes Smith. Williams can see it. Libbok, cross field. That's the way to finish it. That is the way to finish it. Those that have made the trip to Turin wearing the South African colours on their feet to joyously celebrate for Italy what might have been.
Thanks to all.